filter, other, offset. I already know how big this is. It's 800 pixels by 800 pixels. Having it square really helps, but knowing the size, you can then plug in your offset. This is what offset does. It says move it over 400 pixels this way, 400 pixels that way, and then flip it around so that it basically moves to all four corners. You hit OK. Now you've got that ball split into 4 equal sections. Well, I still want to see the ball in the middle, so I'm just going to turn that top layer to multiply. It brings back that new one. Now I do Command A, which selects the entire thing, and I'm just simply going to go to Edit, Define Pattern. It's going to say, OK, you want to set that. I go OK. Now if I've got a new layer, I double click on that layer. I want to go to Pattern Overlay. I don't want bubbles. Has anybody used bubbles for anything?
Every day.
Never. Every day. All the time. Come down here, and I click on that layer I just made. And the great thing is, the reason why I like to use Pattern Overlay is now I can scale it up, I can scale it down. That's cool. And I've made a quick background wallpaper of 2 seconds. Bam.
Camera raw inside of Photoshop. So there's lots of plugins out there that do the grungy effect.
Yes.
Tonal contrasty stuff.
Yes.
You can do it right inside of Lightroom and Camera Raw. Go grab your graduated filter, take your clarity setting, crank it up to 100, and you think, and just drag it off the side here. So you think, I got a little grunge look there, but do another one, and another one, and another one, and just keep dragging them now.
Major.
More cowbell.
More cowbell. All right. Hey, the phone lines are just about to close here. So if you were thinking of calling, no, it's not that quick.
Oh, no.
It may be 3 minutes. All right. Because the movie The Hobbit is opening, right?
Okay.
All right. I can do the Hobbit logo for you.
Okay.
All right. So we'll write the words, not the, but.
Hey, that's a Hollywood thing.
We're going to call it Hobnit.
The Hobnit.
The Hobnit.
Or Hobnob. How about
Hobnob.
Oh, we can't. I got to put a T at the end. And here's why. Because they customized. Well, I want to show you. They customized this font. So here's a couple things that they did to the font. Because this is like 7 tricks in one. First off, they did this. See the O? They made the O small. Here's my first trick. You know, a great way to make to change your size. Don't go here and do all this stuff, and don't type a number in. If you go and put your cursor right over any of the little letters, you can move the size and stuff just by dragging, super fast. So you don't just drag your cursor up there and go, I want to make the O small like that. And that's kind of how they do it. They also make the N a little bit smaller. So highlight the N, click on the icon, and just bring it down a little bit. All right, now, there's some different spacing between some of these letters, right? Like there's a little too much space now between these O's. Click your cursor in between and to put less space between the letters. Option, left arrow. On PC, Alt, left arrow. Just move it over so that way everything's nice and tight. Now, here's one of the big tricks and one of the big secrets to this effect is in the movie or in their logo, they take part of the H and part of the T and they extend it. So they make a custom font. So we're going to bring a little guide down. And then I'm going to turn this from regular type into a path. Go under type and choose, create work path. And it makes a path like you drew this from scratch with the pen tool. Now you can throw that layer away, you don't need it. You can just use a whole blank layer now. Here's what we're going to do. Go get the little arrow that's hollow. So not the filled arrow, but the arrow down here called direct selection tool. Grab the bottom of the letter, drag it straight down. And that's how they made that letter. And then, let me just hold the shift key.
Yeah, hold the shift key.
Yeah. And then go grab the T, drag it down to reach the same guide. Like that. Now go, clear guides. So now, that's how they did the type. Now, how do I get that back into type? Command return, it turns it into a selection. So I'll fill it with just gray. Now, it still doesn't look right because there's a couple things missing. We need the word the. So we're going to tuck that in there.
Hey, how'd you do that?
I should have made that O smaller, son. O is a little too big. Now, and then we're going to put some text below it. I'll duplicate that layer, and we'll say an unexpected, and that's probably a little too large there, that type. So we'll make it small, and I'm increasing the space between the letters by doing the opposite. When I was tightening, I was going option left. We're going to do option right, and that spreads out the type. Layer here. Go to effects, and the rest